that thing up, mommy, make it roll. When you pop like, drop it for me, girl, get low. If your mama gave it to you, baby girl, let it show. Once you pop like, drop it for me, maybe we can roll. Hey, pop, lock, and drop it. Woo! I ain't got too much more money than that than me. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, then welcome. My name is Jessica, lover of cats, trap music, and you. I am so very excited that you decided to join us today. We have so much to talk about. We're going to be talking about Splash Mountain and how that's getting a complete rebrand at Disney World. We're going to be talking about Jenny Slate and how she is no longer voicing Missy on Big Mouth. We're going to be talking about... Can you learn what we're talking about, girl? Jenna Marbles announcing she is quitting YouTube. And then lastly, RIP to a legend. Alright, before we get into all those topics, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I am so very thankful for all the new subscribers that I've gotten. Also, guys, follow me on all of my social media. It's a good time. Go over there, go browse, and let's be friends in real life. Alright, now let's jump right into these topics. Alright, so I want to start with the whole Splash Mountain fiasco. So Splash Mountain is getting a complete rebrand to Princess and the Frog. Now, this has raised some alarms on Twitter because people want to hold on tight to their nostalgia more than positive change. Alright, so for you to really understand the Splash Mountain situation, you have to first understand the movie that the Splash Mountain ride was modeled after. Alright, so the movie was actually called Song of the South, and already... you know where we're going with this, right? It was released in 1946, an adaptation of a book by a man named Joel Chandler Harris, all right? So Joel grew up on a plantation. His family did own slaves, right? And so he actually befriended, unbeknownst to his parents, one of the older slaves, and he would tell them stories. And so he wrote this book about Uncle Remus and all of his tales and his story of Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, and Brer Bear. That is where Walt Disney came with the whole Song of the South. So Song of the South are the stories of Uncle Remus. Alright, so Song of the South was released in 1946. Even with Disney's problematic past, they did not set this movie in the slave times of the South, but what they did do was put it in the Reconstruction period, which is that time right after slavery. Okay, so this happens in the moments right after slavery, still in the 1800s. Okay, it is about a little boy named Johnny. Johnny is played by Bobby Driscoll, and if you are a true Disney fan like me, we should all know who that is. He's the voice of Peter Pan, of course. Johnny goes and visits his grandma on her plantation down in Georgia, and you know, she has workers, right? Because they're not slaves, because we're in the Reconstruction period. But she has all these workers, and they're all just living harmoniously together, and, you know, it's just a happy time, right? So Johnny befriends one of the workers, which is going to end up being Uncle Remus. I wonder if the Uncle Ruckus character from Boondocks comes from Uncle Remus. But anyway, he befriends Uncle Remus. Now, Uncle Remus is played by a guy named John Baskett. Alright, so he does a lot of voice work or whatever. So, boom. So a little tidbit on John Baskett. Actually, he auditioned to play the voice of a butterfly, right? And so he did like a phone audition or whatnot. But then when they heard his voice, they actually wanted him to come in and meet. And when he left that in-person interview, he left with not only the role of the butterfly, but also Brer Fox, and of course the now infamous Uncle Remus. So the story follows Johnny and Uncle Remus, and he tells all these fables about Brer Fox, Brer Rabbit, and Brer Bear. And these stories or whatever kind of helps Johnny through hard times and his hardships, right? He learned all these lessons from these animals, just like Aesop's fables, right? So anyway, the mom, Sally, she's not too thrilled about him making friends with, you know, one of the workers or whatnot. So she tells Uncle Remus, stop talking to my son, like you need to, you know, leave him alone or whatever. So Uncle Remus decided that he wants to just go and leave the plantation because he had that option, you know, back in the day. So he decides to leave, but oh no, Johnny goes running behind him and gets trampled by a bull. That's right. You heard me. He gets trampled by a bull. Now, you know, everybody's in an uproar. This is like, you know, oh, poor Johnny has been trampled by this random ass bull that they just had on the plantation or whatever. The only thing that can bring him out of, you know, this comatose state or whatever is not modern medicine, is not, you know, prayer. It's Uncle Remus's stories about Brer Fox, and then the end. So that is the song of the South. The end. Oh, the one good thing that did come out of this movie was the song Zippity Doo Dah. Now you guys have probably heard this song, that Zippity Doo Dah, Zippity Day, but nobody really knows where that song came from, and that's because Song of the South really haven't gotten to see the light of day, and for good reasons, right? This thing premiered November 12, 1946 at the Fox Theaters in Atlanta. Matter of fact, Walt Disney, he introduced the characters or whatever and introduced the movie, and then he actually left because he did not want to be bothered with any of the unwanted reviews from people, in case people had some criticisms, and they did. But you know, the crazy thing about this premiere, John Basket, who played Uncle Remus, could not go because at the time Atlanta was a segregated city. So that in itself should tell you a lot about just the setting and the environment that this was taking place in. So anyway, this movie brings in $65 million in the box office, and that's a lot of money back in 1946. However, it did come with its own criticisms. People were criticizing the black vernacular. Just like in Joel Chandler Harris's book, the black or slave vernacular is very heavy in this movie. I mean, all the black characters are pretty much illiterate. Also, the plantation setting was kind of glorified and seen as idealistic, when we are all aware that that was not the case in the Reconstruction period in the 1800s in America and in Georgia. Like, we all know that that is not the case. So people definitely had their, you know, their qualms and their reservations about, why is this plantation setting looking so idealistic? Y'all, hold on, I'm dying. Okay. Anyway, this plantation life was looking very idealistic, and it was actually very glorified. It looked real life on the prairie-ish, okay? Like, that is not what Georgia was like in the 1800s, so definitely critics had their reservations about that. So that brings us to 1989, when the Splash Mountain ride was first released. Now this ride is in 3 parts, and the one in Florida, the one in California, and the one in Japan, okay? So this ride actually took over another ride called America Sings that nobody was checking for, so that they went ahead and made the log flume ride that, you know, we all know today as Splash Mountain. Now, when Splash Mountain first announced its release or whatnot, like, people had their problems. They're like, why are you y'all didn't even release the movie Song of the South in full in the US, because it was so much backlash over, you know, what was going on in that movie. It's been released in Latin American countries, and Asian countries, and in Europe, and European countries, but never in the United States. What they did instead was some of the animated portions of the movie and Zippity Doo Dah, they released that, and they also kind of attached those with the Aristocats and with Alice in Wonderland. But as far as the Song of the South getting its own home, you know, situation, that was out, because Disney knew what was up. Yet they still made this ride though in 1989 or whatever, despite all the criticisms, okay? And it's been like a favorite, you know what I'm saying? People love Splash Mountain or whatever. So that's that. They just announced yesterday that they are going to change the Song of the South themed Splash Mountain to now a jazzy Princess and the Frog theme, featuring Princess Tiana and her trumpet playing alligator Louie. Guys, when I heard this news, I was so excited. Like, I love Princess and the Frog. I love New Orleans. I love everything about just like that culture. And it's, guys, it's going to be beautiful. Can you imagine going through like the swamps of New Orleans with all the beautiful fireflies and the trumpet in the background? Ooh, I hope they serve beignets at the end. Guys, I am so very excited. You know, it came with its, you know, with its controversy. People love nostalgia over positive change. They are going up about the fact that they're changing Splash Mountain with these whole racial undertones. Like, right, Splash Mountain was a replacement for something else. Like, things have its era. Like, goodbye. This is gonna be a beautiful Princess and the Frog theme. This is going to be so beautiful, and I personally cannot wait to get to Disney World Land or the one in Tokyo, Japan, and see how beautiful this is going to be. You know, they have a black creative director on this. I mean, some of the prototype pictures, it just looks absolutely magical, guys, and I am just so very excited. I can't even believe that people would even be, you know, up in arms about this. Now, I don't know if they changed this to a Princess Tiana theme because of, you know, everything that's going on in the world right now and they felt some pressure, or if they simply just changed it because location-wise, with it being a log flute and like the terrestrial, you know, environment, that goes perfect with that. You know, I'm not sure. I think it might have been a little bit of both, but either way, it needed to happen, and I'm so excited that it did. So, y'all can be mad, but I will be standing there, waiting, singing, I'm almost there. Almost there. I hope that's the song. Cause I got friends on the other side. Anyway, Anika Noni Rose, who voiced Princess Tiana, and then some of the other actors and actresses kind of like put their 2 cents on like just how they're feeling about this actually becoming a ride. Princess Tiana deserves that, and I'm just so very excited. So just sticking with animation and all that, that brings us to the voice actor Jenny Slate. Now you guys know I love Big Mouth. If you have not seen Big Mouth, where have you been? Watch Big Mouth. It's on Netflix. It's about some kids going through puberty and just like, you know, their trials, going through that time in their life or whatever, and it's just absolutely hilarious. Nick Kroll is a genius. It's just so funny, okay? And so one of the main characters, Missy, she's a biracial character. She's black and Jewish, and she is being voiced by Jenny Slate. And honestly, you need to know what brings Missy to life is her voice. Like, that is what brings Missy characters to life. Like, she's like really great. Anyway, Jenny Slate announced that she will no longer be voicing Missy because she wants to give that role up for someone who is black. What? Guys, so much of this performative activism, like voice acting, seriously. Now I do believe that black people need to play black people on film. It's way too many black actors and actresses that are more than capable to play some of these roles, to be having them played by non-black people, or you know, Asian played by non-Asian, or a white played by a non-white. Like that, you need to get people when they're actual true people, not stuff like the Little Mermaid. And when y'all were mad about the Little Mermaid being black, she's fictional. But you know, actual people need to be played by actual people, I guess you can say. But voice acting, y'all are taking it too far. Like, that's what acting is. Like, do you know how many black actors have played non-black characters? Like Samurai Jack. Samurai Jack is played by a whole black man, Phil Lamar. Like, huh? You about to stop playing Missy, who you also, Missy is biracial. She's half Jewish, and like, you're literally Jewish. Like, what are you talking about? Like, to me, I don't know if I'm just so upset, y'all, because I love the show, but I'm just genuinely, I think that that is just absolutely ridiculous. Like, we're ODing on, you know, all the performative activism. Guys, it's voice acting. That's the point of being are you telling me that Kermit the Frog should have been played by an amphibian? Guys, come on. It's voice acting. And I think that Jenny Slate doing that, I mean, I don't know who they're gonna get to play Missy, but Missy, that voice is Missy. It's just like John Mulaney not playing Andrew. Like, nobody else can play that role. That voice makes that character. And so I just feel like I don't agree with that. To me, I feel like that I understand where she was coming from, and I appreciate the gesture. Literally, Missy is biracial. With her logic, they're gonna have to find a half Jewish, half black voice actress that can bring that character to life. And if they can do that, then awesome, more power to you. I love diversity, but what, girl, at this point, just leave Missy out the show. Like, she just transferred to another school, because I cannot even imagine, like, I don't know, I hope it works out for them, and I hope Jenny Slate gets whatever resolve she's trying to get from this or whatever, but I'm not feeling it, and I think that is actually a little bit ridiculous, but that's just me. Alright guys, I'm gonna talk about Jenna Marbles, because this is literally an end of an era. Like, so guys, Jenna Marbles has announced that she is quitting YouTube. Now, if you don't know who Jenna Marbles is, like, I don't even know how you been on YouTube, because honestly guys, Jenna Marbles is one of the OG YouTubers. I think she came out in 2010, and she has like 20 million subscribers. Matter of fact, she was the first social media star to get her own wax figure and Madame Trousseau. So like, this is not a game. Like, Jenna Marbles was like that girl on YouTube. Literally, I think that was the first YouTuber that I ever watched ever in my life, was Jenna Marbles. Okay, so this is a big deal. I cried with Jenna Marbles when she got her second dog, Kermit. I cried when she had to pull all her teeth out of her first dog, Marble's mouth. Like, I have been a Jenna Marbles fan for a long time. Now, she has came under fire recently because of some things in her past that has resurfaced. In 2012, she made a video where she was acting like Nicki Minaj. In this video, people are saying it's black. I mean, well, it was blackface, to be honest. I'm just gonna just put it like it was what it was. She put on dark makeup. She became Nicki Minaj, put the wig on or whatever, and she just kind of impersonated Nicki Minaj. Now, I watched this video back in 2012, and honestly, I'm kind of ashamed of myself. In 2012, I saw nothing wrong with the video. Like, I was young. But now, as we are, you know, as we all have grown and have evolved, like, you know, that's just, it's not, the same world anymore, and that's just not really a good look. But anyway, so people have brought that up in her past, so that has resurfaced. Okay, also in another video in 2012, which I did not see back then, and if I would have, I think maybe I would have been like, ooh, on this one, but I'm not sure because I didn't see it back then. But it was a video where, you know, she was kind of racially insensitive to Asians. She said something along the lines of like, ching chong ling long, show me that ding dong. Oops, I'm sorry, that's kind of racist. I'm really bad at rap songs. And it's like, yeah, it kind of was. It was definitely insensitive, and people have drugged that. You guys know 2020 is the year of dragging out everybody's skeletons, child. So people have drugged that out of, you know, her closet or whatnot, and she's been berated with a bunch of, you know, backlash about it. You know, people are like, address this, like, why haven't you addressed this? Now, she did private these videos long before she was called out. That is, I think that deserves to be said. I'm not saying it takes away from the situation, but I think it does deserve to be said that she took these videos down prior to being called out. A lot of people only take action when somebody calls them out on something. So to know that Jenna Marbles did in fact, on her own, or maybe somebody in her ear said something and she took this down long before, you know, 2020 came around, and she's been called out for it. However, you guys know when something's on the internet, it's on the internet forever. So somebody pulled it right back up and dug it right up out that grave, and you know, it's here. And so she went and she made a YouTube video titled A Message, and of course everybody watched it, got millions of views in just, you know, the first day or whatever. And basically she announced that she may never be coming back to YouTube because she feels so embarrassed and so humiliated by her past actions. She just doesn't want to hurt anybody. You know, she's been known as this unproblematic queen for so long, and that's because she has grown, and she's taken all those, you know, videos off from 10 years ago that she thought nobody was really checking for. She had already took those down, so she kind of felt like, you know, she's grown and evolved, but now she's realizing that when it's on the internet, baby, it's permanent. And so she just kind of said, you know, I'm going to take a step back from this, and I'm not having fun with this anymore, and, you know, I'm done. My whole thing is, as sad as I am to see Jenna Marbles go, honestly, because, you know, I like Jenna Marbles. I haven't watched her recently because I just been doing my own thing, but like, she's one of those YouTubers where, you know, you'll go check in on every once in a while. And so, you know, with all that being said and done, I think that people have to do what's best for them. In the video, she said nobody was calling her out for this. However, she did want to also apologize while she was just apologizing for stuff. She wanted to go ahead and apologize for shaming as well. She said she had one video on her channel that was also taken down a long time ago where she was kind of like shaming people for being freer with their bodies. And she said that she doesn't want to be that person that shames or that's racially insensitive. And so, you know, she's taking a step down. Now, when I heard this, I was like, oh my gosh, that's sad. You know, blackface is never okay. You know, I do think, I will say this, she did seem sincere in her apology, and I do believe that people grow and change. When your faves apologize and don't change, that's when I'm annoyed, okay? But people like Jenna Marbles that really have, like, changed, she hasn't made any problematic content and like, you know, 5, 6, 7 years. It doesn't dismiss the fact she was still grown and old enough to know that that was inappropriate, obviously. But, you know, it seems as though she's changed and grown. But even with that being said, people have to do what's right for them, and it is what it is. I believe that if you are non-black, non-Asian, and I guess I could say a you don't have a right to say if people should forgive Jenna Marbles or not. Everybody on Twitter is like, okay, guys, she apologized. How dare you guys still try to cancel her, or how dare you guys still like don't forgive her? She's apologized. And a lot of these people were not black or Asian, and I was just kind of like, ugh, she wasn't really apologizing to you, so you have no say in whether Jenna Marbles is forgiven or not, because she wasn't apologizing to you. She was apologizing to the people that she offended. It's their decision on whether or not they want to take her apology, and at the end of the day, people got to do what's best for them. Girl, it is what it is. So I'm very sad. It is the end of an era for sure. Like, watching her video, I'm not gonna lie, I teared up just a little bit, a little missed, because I did really like Jenna Marbles, you know, but now looking back, some of these things were in fact problematic, but I am glad that she has changed and she's evolving and she's growing. And last but not least, I want to talk about Huey. You guys know Huey. If you don't know who he is, he's a rapper from St. Louis. He is most popular for his 2006 hit Pop, Lock, and Drop It. Pop, lock, and drop it, ayy. Pop, lock, and drop it, ayy. Y'all, if y'all from my era, you guys know that we ruined our knees way before the Megan Thee Stallion era, okay? We ruined our knees back in 06 with Pop, Lock, and Drop It, trying to hit that drop every time, honey, and I hit it every time. These kids these days are doing this little ugly TikTok dance. Like, what is this? No, baby. We was pop, locking, and dropping it, okay? So he was actually shot outside of his St. Louis home yesterday, and it's pretty tragic. We've lost yet another person in 2020, so prayers up for his family, and of course, like, rest in power to him. It was another victim in the shooting, but that other victim was fine. He's been treated for non-fatal wounds, so, you know, just sad. So sorry. It really is just seems like it's been an end of an era as I woke up this morning. Anyway, guys, tell me what you think about all these topics down below. Okay, let's keep the discussion going down there. Of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Until next time, bye. Mwah.